Hello and welcome to another episode by CDBTC. Today is August 19th, 2021. We have positive news for Bitcoin. We have strong fundamentals and the price will start to line up with that. So today we're going to talk about how investors are starting to flock over to Bitcoin, how financial institutions are also jumping in. They're not going to stay behind. And we're going to talk about an important Bitcoin buy signal. This signal has been key in letting us know when it's a great time to buy Bitcoin. And after that buy signal flashes, price appreciates over time. So stick around for that. So the first piece of news we're going to talk about is how Fidelity is reporting that 90% of its biggest clients are interested in accessing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Fidelity is one of the largest financial institutions in the United States. They've let us know that it's no secret that most institutional investors are carefully participating in the crypto market for the first time this year. And you know what this means? Imagine this is 2013 when the people who are most visionary, they took a leap and they invested in Bitcoin. That was retail. And then in 2017, a bigger wave of retail came in. And you know what happened to the prices? Imagine this happening with the institutional investors. So this year, this cycle is the first cycle where the visionary institutional investors are starting to come in. And of course, we're going to have a second cycle in which the rest of them FOMO in. So definitely, we're still early and Bitcoin is going to continue appreciating over time. They've let us know that the company's crypto ambitions have been fueled by a growing demand from clients to access crypto investment opportunities, and that this trend is being observed across major institutional funds and banks in the United States as well as around the world. And just today, Wells Fargo and JP Morgan filed for passive Bitcoin funds. So both the banking giant Wells Fargo, and this includes JP Morgan, whose CEO declared a few years ago that he would publicly fire any employee dealing in Bitcoin. And guess what? Instead of fighting us, they're now joining us. So JP Morgan is also filing for a passive Bitcoin fund that is going to be offered to their wealthy clients. Peter Thiel is a billionaire and he didn't achieve that status because he didn't know what to do. So Peter Thiel's Palantir is now going to accept Bitcoin payments. And what's important is why they're going to start doing it. He says that he is preparing for a future Black Swan event. So he's inviting customers to pay for its data analytics software in Bitcoin. Why do they want to do it? Because they've seen how Bitcoin has, instead of devaluating, it's been appreciating in price over the years. So right now, Palantir has a $2.3 billion in cash, which is just losing value. It's depreciating. Imagine if they had those $2.3 billion, if they had part of that in Bitcoin in 2020 after the Black Swan event caused by the coronavirus, those $2.3 billion would be almost $230 billion. So that's what they're looking forward. And they see Bitcoin as a tool that's going to allow them to achieve that. And finally, we're going to talk about the hash ribbons. So the hash ribbons is an indicator created by Charles Edwards. It uses the 30 and 60-day moving averages of Bitcoin hash rate to determine when the minor capitulation has occurred. And we did have a minor capitulation during this cycle after we corrected, because part of the bad news that were circulating in those days was the ESG element, which Elon Musk referred to, but also China was cracking down on the Bitcoin miners and were forcing them to move outside China. So a lot of Bitcoin miners shut down their machines, and this is what created this hash ribbon indicator signal flash. Let's take a closer look at the chart. And we can see, we're gonna keep it simple, the flash ribbon indicator is indicated by these red vertical lines, and we can see that after every flash signal, price appreciated over time. Sometimes it happened in the short term, but over the long term, it appreciated by a lot. We can see this pattern repeat over time. We can see this effect in 2015 and it happened twice in 2015, after which we had the most magnificent bull run in 2017, which everybody remembers. The signal also flashed in 2016. And after that, we had the most amazing bull run everybody also remembers. Then in 2019, we had the signal flash again, and we had the price run from $3,000 all the way up to $14,000. And the other times the signal flashed was right after the black swan event caused by the coronavirus. And you know that the price was at around $4,000. Then it crept up to $10,000 when it flashed again, and we had an amazing run up to $60,000. So this is the first time after we've had $60,000 where the hash ribbon signal has flashed again. If we go back and look in history, almost every time after the hash ribbon signal has flashed, the Bitcoin price has appreciated. Why would it be different this time? And now let's take a quick look at Bitcoin and where we are. We've discussed during the past days that it was very important for Bitcoin to remain above the 200 daily moving average. Bitcoin pushed up 1 and 2 times. The first time it was definitely rejected. Then we pushed up, we lost it, we pushed up, we maintained it for 1, 2, 3 days. But on this day, we closed below that price. We weren't able to support it. And Bitcoin started trading below the 200 daily MA. But today, Bitcoin has reacted very positively and is now trying again to close above the 200 weekly moving average, which is very important. Another important key fact is that we should have come down to $42,000 to retest, but we were front ran and we bounced at $43,790, which is right over the 9-day moving average. So a nice reaction from Bitcoin. When we look at the short term, this was very, very important because Bitcoin had been in an uptrend. We had lost that uptrend and we had started going into a descending channel or a descending wedge. One, depending on whether you're using the needles or the body candles. But what was very clear is that Bitcoin has started moving in a downtrend. Today, we were able to break that downtrend regardless of whether we were in a descending wedge or a descending channel. You can see that early in the morning, Bitcoin started to bounce. We broke out of this resistance. We hit the next one, and we also managed to break out of that one. And even greater or more important is that we were able to climb back in above into this diagonal support line, which had been the lower support band of the ascending channels. So for now, Bitcoin has recovered very nicely. We can see that we're making a higher high on the 1 hour, and if we can sustain this, it's going to be a higher low. So we definitely broke the downtrend on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, it looks good as well. We had a very bullish engulfing candle. We had a higher low, and right now we're having a higher high. So let's see if this candle can close above the previous candle, and we're going to get another higher low. So as you can see, everything's aligned for now. The fundamentals are great, and the technicals are also looking very bullish for Bitcoin. The next few months are going to be very bullish for Bitcoin, and we're going to see this effect spill over into the rest of the crypto market, which is also going to be benefited from the price appreciation Bitcoin is going to achieve. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.